I believe like with my sport, because of the amount of people that are involved in it, you know, you're not just fighting the other guy that was trained by the other coach over there on the other side of the ring. You know, you're also fighting the referee. You're also fighting the judges. You're also fighting the fans around, you know, the friends, the family, the ones that are booing at you. You suck, and trying to get in your head while you're like 9 years old. You know, we're just kids learning and fighting. What that did for me, it made me who I am in every aspect.
Pressure creates diamonds, but it also exposes fractures. Teofimo Lopez has always fought like a man sprinting toward fate. Heavy footsteps, blistering hands, unshakable belief.
Stop. Oh my God.
My father said, you gotta be an entertainer. He was seeing everybody else, all the other kids. He knew I could beat every kid. However, he just wanted to add a little bit more sauce into me. And what was it? He said, be different, have fun, enjoy yourself, entertain. And I always had that in me. I started boxing at the age of 6, officially. But before that, my father had me fighting and doing Taekwondo at 2 years old. So let's say from 2 all the way to 17, for 15 years, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't believe in myself like my father did. I did not. What my father instilled with me, and it stuck with me, were a lot of things that I could really say that has improved my living. Don't get hit. He always told me that. He's like, you know how to box, you know how to do this, just don't get hit. All he had to say was don't get hit, and I already knew what that meant.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2. Right hand again. Give me that right hand, baby. Give me that right hand.
Don't show it.
Right here, right there. Don't show it. Right here, okay, go. Go.
Come over here.
Too fast for me. Go. Oh, yeah. That's it.
From the Olympics to world titles, his career has moved with urgency, like he never intended to linger anywhere for long. He wanted this fight because Shakur represents the one thing Teofimo can't overpower with emotion alone: control.
That's what we've been waiting for, man. Working on drills, foot drills, hand-eye reaction, everything. You know, my guy, TA, Go Feet Formula, that's what's about to happen right now. I'm about to enter the whole matrix.
That's my boy. He was the one that started it. That's my boy.
So like you know, we already here. Fight week is on, and we at the UFC Facility Center. I've never seen him this great since right after the Olympics when he turned pro. Very explosive, but now it's a take back, and we just trying to focus on that and going to the next level, man, and taking over the 140 weight division, and that's what we focus on right now.
Their paths crossed years ago. Both Olympians, both groomed for greatness, always in the same conversations, but never in the same ring. Like parallel lines, daring boxing to finally let them collide. Teofimo's style is built on explosion and confidence, sudden bursts that flip rounds and momentum in seconds. The kind of fighter who thrives on rhythm and reaction.
So really just trying to just keep it going, you know, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You know, you gotta have fun with what you do. You know, I love this. You know, I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. You know, this has been 20 years in the making, 20 years in this, you know, and I have so much to do and so much to prove within myself. So mentally, I'm prepared. Physically, I'm more than ready, you know, and emotionally, oh, I'm on fire, you know, I'm on fire with it, you know, because all I ever did was try to be great, you know, and it's no longer trying. I am great. And it's all about just continuing and holding that. So it's all about just staying humble throughout the process, keeping myself level-headed, and really just enjoying each day that we get, because tomorrow's never promised.
When he's locked in, like against Vasily Lomachenko or Josh Taylor, he looks untouchable, sharp, inventive, daring opponents to keep pace. Teofimo trains with his father, Lopez Sr., for the Stevenson fight. He's focused on rounds, discipline, and smarter combinations daily now. That's the Teofimo experience, brilliance wrapped in risk, talent that can win big or unravel fast, always chasing moments that turn fights into statements.
I'll tell you like this, a lot of these people, they're so ambitious, and it's okay to be, you have to. But the thing is, sometimes you don't get it because you're probably not gonna carry it the right way. You're probably not gonna be a people's champ. You're probably just gonna spend all your money, like a lot of these fighters do, on yourself rather than giving back. You know, it's all about being a people's champ. Muhammad Ali was the greatest of all time for those things, you know, and he made a strong, strong impact.
Mastery isn't loud, it's relentless. Shakur Stevenson has been moving toward this fight like it was always inevitable. Step by step, never rushing, never drifting. An Olympian too, but wired differently. Shakur learned early that the ring rewards those who think faster than they move. This matchup has simmered for years because Shakur doesn't chase names, he draws them in, and Teofimo has always been the loudest challenge in the room.
Stay long and keep that angle.
Yeah, keep the angle.
Keep your head off that
Position,
fucking
man,
line.
just in case. Especially with somebody fast like him with timing. You can't be out of position. You got
Yeah.
He's strong as hell. He picked me up in there. It was fun though. Just to be in the ring with him, share the ring with him, test his IQ out a little bit, see some of the moves he's doing, and I'm gonna go take it with me when I go fight. So I appreciate Dre.
You don't run it back again?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Shakur's style is subtraction, taking away space, options, and confidence until opponents start punching at air and doubting their timing. He doesn't fight for moments, he fights for minutes, stacking rounds with clean work, sharp counters, and footwork that feels unfair when you're chasing it. Along the way, Shakur has built elite connections, absorbing wisdom from minds like Andre Ward, Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather, and Terrence Crawford. A rare blend of experience shaping his approach for Lopez. Losses haven't defined him because mistakes rarely repeat. He adjusts, refines, and comes back tighter. Shakur wants this fight because Teofimo is chaos, and Shakur has built his identity on proving that chaos, no matter how gifted, can be solved.
I was looking at
It's looking bad today. That's how it's looking. Cole gonna break some. And if he don't break some shit, he gonna beat the fuck out of him. Over this. Oh. Nice. Oh. Oh. Get in reverse.
We don't care who it is. We have no friend. Shakur, if his cousin get in the ring, he gonna get this smoke. If his brother get in the ring, he gonna get this smoke. We have no friend. Strictly this.
Antonio Tarver said this fight is built like a classic chess match disguised as a brawl, and I hear him. He kept returning to one clear truth. If Shakur controls distance and owns the center, he wins. If Teofimo forces spurts and closes, he changes the night. Tarver highlighted the small things we forget when we trade punchlines: conditioning, mental focus, the everyday habits that keep a fighter sharp.
If you see Shakur controlling the distance, giving him angles, keeping that fight sort of in the middle, you gotta favor Shakur. But if he's on the back foot if he's on the ropes, I mean, that's going to give Teofimo a lot of opportunity.
And I can't stress how much that matters when rounds 9 through 11 feel like lifelines. He called Teofimo a combination puncher, someone who throws both hands in succession and can turn a clean sequence into an ugly problem. Which is why Tarver warned that Teo must press in spurts, not explode blindly, or else Shakur will pick him apart into a long, miserable night.
What makes Teofimo, I believe, dangerous in this fight, he throws both hands in succession. He's a combination type puncher, and that always serves well if you got a real slick defensive fighter. And
Tarver even leaned on history. When Teo showed up for Lomachenko or Josh Taylor, he became another man. So Tarver said the only version of Teo that beats Shakur is that ultra self-focused, violent with intent, moving his feet to get inside. But he also reminded us Shakur has the tools to be the cooler chess player.
It could be, leaning toward becoming the face of boxing, because with Shakur being undefeated, having a big name like Teofimo Lopez on his record, he's going to have to then.
Timing, counters, and now the frame to carry weight at 140. When Shakur fights like he did versus Zepeda, he becomes someone who makes talented fighters look ordinary. Bottom line for Tarver? Favor the boxer if the plan holds. Fear the fighter if Teo seizes the night. And respect that this is a defining crossroads for both men.
Put him in there with all these big names and see, can he beat one or two more guys and become the real fighter, the king around that 140, 147 division. It's a lot of action there, Mark.
And right after Tarver framed this whole thing as Teo needing to be his most dangerous self just to crack Shakur's code, Wade Plemons zooms the camera out and reminds us why this fight even matters. Because he flat out said, this is best versus best in their prime. And boxing almost never gets that without a decade of excuses first. Wade kept hammering that this isn't about belts collecting dust, it's about timing. And I'm with him. These two have known each other since the amateurs, circled each other forever, and now there's nowhere left to hide behind later.
Shakur has the same opportunity. This is Shakur's toughest test, no doubt about it. The Williams-Zepeda fight was a tough test because of the style of fight that Zepeda brings, but Zepeda is not the boxer that Teofimo Lopez is. It's just not even close to the same category of boxing ability, technique, skill, experience, higher level. Like, it's not even close. So Shakur is going to have to answer those questions as well. If he believes, and he does, that he's the best in the world, this is how.
When Wade talked about the face-off being the first mental exchange, I loved that he wasn't hunting for fake hostility. He was watching posture, eye contact, who's talking through the questions instead of to the interviewer, because that's where tells live. He made a sharp point about Teofimo actually respecting Shakur's boxing, his movement, his inside-outside ability, and that matters because dismissive fighters get embarrassed, respectful ones prepare. Wade also cracked the boxing culture myth, saying we're too obsessed with spotless records and shiny belts instead of who you actually beat, and that hit hard, because Teo already proved he'll take the heat by fighting Lomachenko, Taylor, whoever's dangerous.
Traps for Teo in the fight continuously, and then eventually turn the temperature down on Teo and essentially try to starve him, right? Starve him of punches, starve him of volume, starve him of momentum and rhythm, right? Like, Teo's a big-time rhythm.
But Wade didn't let Shakur off easy either. He flat out said, this is Shakur's defining moment. The fight where you don't just be great, you prove it against someone who can punch back and think. When Wade broke down the weight talk, the whole can Shakur carry it to 140, you could hear the skepticism without hate. Like, this isn't theory anymore, this is reality check territory. And the funniest part was when Wade basically said, styles make fights, but stop pretending Zepeda and Teofimo are the same conversation, because that's boxing delusion. The way Wade framed it, this fight isn't about trash talk or power tweets. It's about whether Shakur's control can survive a fighter who refuses to be starved, and whether Teo's ambition can stay disciplined long enough to matter. That's not hype, that's pressure, and pressure tells the truth.
feet, with his movement. Once he gets in that flow, it's a little bit tough to stop that ball rolling down the hill. If Shakur can just be an interrupter in this fight and interrupt timing, interrupt rhythm, interrupt momentum, I could see that being the way he wants to approach it and frustrating.
And right after Wade framed this fight as a fight about timing, ego, and who's truly built for the moment, Stephen Breadman Edwards steps in, sounding like the calm voice in the room who's already watched this movie 3 times and knows where the plot twists usually land. Breadman basically said, relax with the disrespect. Treating this like Shakur is just going to walk through Teofimo as how people get embarrassed in hindsight. He acknowledged what we all see. Shakur's consistency is elite. The man gives you the same level every night. No mystery box, no bad surprises. And that's why betting money leans his way. But then Breadman flipped it and reminded you why Teofimo is a nightmare matchup when he's dialed in. Because athleticism plus explosiveness plus confidence can turn into something scary fast.
A basketball analogy. Shakur Stevenson averaged about 25 points a game, right? But every game he scored about 23, 24, 27, 28. He just have a good baseline. Where Teofimo averaged about 22 points a game. Some games he only have 10, but other games he got 50.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
I love the basketball analogy he used, comparing Shakur to a guy who gives you 25 every night, while Teo is the guy who might give you 10 or might give you 50 and set the building on fire. That's not inconsistency, that's volatility, and volatility wins fights when it peaks at the right time. Breadman also pointed out something people don't like admitting. Teofimo doesn't freeze in big moments. He might be hot and cold, but when the lights are brightest, he's shown up against Lomachenko, Josh Taylor, even Barboza. And that matters more than pretty scorecards. At the same time, Breadman didn't sugarcoat the danger, because he straight up said Teo struggles when he has to chase movers, when he presses instead of lining guys up, which is exactly where Shakur lives. That's the warning right there.
Is that the guys who've given Teofimo movement and the guys who've tried to he's tried to press, he hasn't looked good. But when he's made fighters come to him and he could kind of like line them up for his counter punches a little bit better. So he's obviously a fighter that likes you to come to him more than a fighter that likes to come to you and kind of stalk you.
This fight isn't about roughing Shakur up or trying to bully him. It's about whether Teofimo can force Shakur into his world without abandoning discipline. Breadman wasn't saying pick Teo, he was saying respect the ceiling. Because if Teofimo hits one of those 50-point nights, all the safe predictions get real quiet real fast. It's not about who looks smoother shadowboxing for Instagram. It's about identity under pressure. Teofimo is chasing moments, always has been, chasing the night where chaos overwhelms control and belief turns into force. Shakur is chasing mastery, the slow suffocation of mistakes, the kind of win that doesn't explode but lingers. Every voice we heard, Tarver, Wade, Breadman, keeps circling the same truth from different angles. If Shakur keeps the fight small, clean, and disciplined, he turns this into a long night of frustration. If Teofimo finds rhythm without losing structure, he can flip everything in seconds. There's no safe outcome here, no easy script, just 2 Olympians who've been orbiting each other for years, finally forced to collide while they're still sharp, still hungry, still dangerous. That's why this matters, because whichever way it breaks, someone's story changes forever. Drop your take in the comments, really debate it. Shakur's control versus Teofimo's volatility. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters.